Hello and welcome. My name is Preacher. And today, I figured we'd get the big one out of the way first. GTA 6 delayed until, what is this, May? Until May 2026. I'll be honest. I did not give two shakes of a shit about GTA. Never have, never will. Just not for me. But it is going to be a seismic event in gaming. For sure. In media, in fact. And like I said, this really doesn't affect me in any way personally. But it does affect a large part of the gaming community. And 2K has been out there all year talking about it's coming. I get ready, boyo. It's on its way. 2025, we're sticking to it. It's just if they weren't so loud about it coming this year, this wouldn't matter. I feel empathy for the GTA fans, cause boy, I'd be mad as hell. I don't even care about the game, and I felt like I kept hearing about it coming this year. I believed it was coming. They said it was coming. Ugh. And as funny as it is, though, I think it is important to remember a delayed game is better than a rushed game. You know, if it's not ready and it needs that full year, it sucks because they kept coming out there and telling you that it was coming, but you know, you'll get the better experience out of it with a little bit of patience. So that's what's happening with GTA. I more or less needed them for the rhyme, so they're in the video. Contractual, you know how it goes, boys. What the big news of the week was, though, the second punch delivered. Xbox raises their prices nearly across the board. I think like one of the controllers were spared, which is kind of hilarious. But I mean, let's look at it here. Xbox Series S alone jumping up nearly a whole $100. That's supposed to be the cheap entryway, right? Yeah, the 1 terabyte, same thing, $100. X digital, $100. Series X proper, whole $100. This is the one that kills me. The 2 terabyte Galaxy Edition is now $730, and that like Xbox memory stick is proprietary. You know what I mean? That memory is at a premium. You know, their stuff is still expensive, so and I mean it does less and is more expensive than the PS5 Pro. I had a discussion with a guy this morning on Twitter, and he was like, yeah, you got to factor in the disk drive, though. And I'm like, yeah, but the disk drive really in this day and age is optional. But you can't option in on a Series X some performance enhancements. You know what I mean? The PS5 Pro, I mean, it's a dream. Right after this, I'm going to play a little bit of Returnal because I got a PS5 Pro patch, and I cannot wait to see how crisp it looks. That's something the Xbox Series X just can't do. It can't match the performance rate of a PS5 Pro. It's not supposed to. But now it costs $30 more. You know what I mean? You know, consumer friendliness is one of Xbox's like main pillars. Like of all of its main pillars, it's like top 2 or 3. You know what I mean? Their consumer friendly front facing is really important to that brand. That's why the Xbox community is as passionate as they are, because they're very largely community driven. And that community gets out there and they sure spread the word. And it's hard for them to spread the word of Phil Spencer when he's jacking up the prices after having a huge Q3, and it gums up a lot of the narrative that they're these consumer friendly guys. You know what I mean? That is perpetrated by the Xbox community. This shows very much again that these guys are a company here to make money. And you know what is conspicuously, very, very noticeably out of the conversation of a lot of these Xbox podcasts lately is the handheld, right? I haven't heard hair nor tail of the handheld, because now the conversation would be, how expensive is that thing gonna be? Right? It's made by ROG. ROG Allies are like $700, $800. Okay, if they're comfortable with upping the prices of the Series S to damn near 400, you know what I mean? If they're upping their Series X to damn near 700, it's not looking good for that one. And that changes the narrative on how this thing is supposed to be taking over the world. Because people aren't going to want to pay that. And to be fair, they're not alone, right? Xbox isn't alone in raising prices. I know PlayStation just had a price raise across or outside of the US on hardware and also PS Plus. You know what I mean? Nintendo is raising, obviously, the base prices of their games, going for variable prices. That was the first punch. All of this stuff, that, like I said, gaming is becoming more expensive. It's across the board. It's everything. You know what I mean? But I do think it hit especially hard for Xbox because they're not selling consoles anyway, right? This is the last 36 months of Xbox game sales. I mean, falling off a cliff doesn't even begin to explain it. You know what I mean? Never mind 2024 to 2025, 31%, 41%, 29%, 29%. You know what I mean? That's after having 2 straight years of damn near free fall. And then to be down 6% again this quarter. You know, and then after all of that, this is years later, 5 years after release, 3 years after you started falling off of a cliff, you're raising the price another $100? I think that is pretty indicative of where gaming is going. $80 games are here, more expensive consoles are here, and it's only going up as far as we can tell. You know, again, we can only vote with our wallets. This will likely push some people to Game Pass, right? You got to imagine, but it's not the great kind of. You're not enticing people necessarily. You're kind of forcing them into it, almost, by just jacking the price on an individual game. And Game Pass has definitely seen some growth on PC, but let's not forget the vast majority of people on Game Pass own an Xbox console. They have that Xbox console. That's their majority base. So if it's harder to get into the console, it's harder to get into Game Pass. It's just that easy. You know what I mean? Unless they start having massive growth somewhere else, and they're steadily climbing. But again, console has still been their touch point and will continue to be long into the future. And if that's harder to get into, they're going to get less Game Pass subscribers. That's just how that works. And there will be less gamers overall. You know what I mean? I think people are going to start to get priced out of this. I feel very fortunate to have bought the tech that I bought. I think I said this last time too. I refreshed all my equipment. I got a ROG Ally, new TV, new PS5 Pro, and I'm done now. I'm just done until next generation, when hopefully things calm down or I have enough time to really save up for that, because things are crazy, man. Things are crazy all around. But this is just a short one, you know what I mean? It's short, but this is a big topic. This is the real inflection point. $80 games are here. There's a lot of finger pointing and asking who's to blame, but the reality is all these companies are working together to, jack the prices up and make the most they can of this moment with the tariffs and the confusion of the financial world right now. And I think the best way that we can really fight against it, I think it's kind of unrealistic. I know I've said it before, but it's a little unrealistic to say, hey, if they jack up, because I had to check myself. Microsoft publishes Ninja Gaiden 4. When that comes out I assume it's going to come out for $80 now. When that comes out, that $10 is not going to stop me from playing Ninja Gaiden 4. I waited my whole life for that game. That's happening, And so I think really the best thing we can do is support indie devs. You know what I mean? Sandfall Interactive. I'm sure everybody's heard of Expedition 33 by now. It's fantastic. It's everything they said. That game's only $50. Support that game. If you want to see more of that quality level at that price point, support that. You know what I mean? Show them that it's viable, and you'll get more of it. And that's really all we can do without sacrificing our hobby. You know what I mean? It's unrealistic that people are just some people are gonna definitely stop playing games, but the hardcore, the people who listen to this are not gonna stop playing video games because of the price raise. That's just what it is. But that's it for me. Wanted to make note of it, but there's honestly not too much to say. It's happening, and we'll keep going from here. My name is Preacher. I hope to see you back here on the pews.